上は飛行艇を飛ばすための整備工程に1日を要します。十分な設備さえあれば半日で飛ばせてみせますが。半日だと
間に合わなかった。地ならしの進行速度は馬の駆け足よりも速いくらいだった。それも障害物を無視して進むから半日もあれば巨人が上陸した海岸からおよそ600キロ被害に。全ての大陸を踏み潰すまでには4日かかるだろう。最善の手でエレンを止められたとしてもレベリオはすでに間に合わない。考えがございます。マーレ海岸都市のオディハにアズマ人が所有する格納庫があります。そこでも飛行艇の整備は可能です。すぐさま船で飛行艇を曳航したまま出港し、オディハにて飛行整備を完了する手があります。海岸都市、距離によってはこれから地ならしで壊滅する都市じゃ。オディハは地ならしより先回りできる距離にありますが、さらに半日持つかは賭けになります。
Retrospective. Okay, so I already asked this during the retrospective while the opening was playing, but for it was probably cut out. So the word gamble and something, a decision, an action that they're taking being a gamble. Like, I'm sure that has been brought up before in the show, like by Erwin or Levi. No, maybe Erwin. When was an action taken by the scouts referred to as a gamble? Does anyone remember? Or am I just remembering wrong? Wow. Oh god. But can you really deal with her later? Oh, thank god.
ありったけのライトを持ってこい。奴らは船でエレンを殺しに向かう気だ。何としてでも船を破壊しろ。エレンが殺されればパラディ島は血の海に沈む。全世界から報復され、お前たちの親や兄弟も子供も皆殺しだ。心臓を捧げよう。それじゃ二人とも出航準備まで持たないぞ。
Oh.
俺も戦わなくちゃ。アギトの巨人の力を使って。
それはダメ。初めての巨人からうまくいかない。
But I don't think, I feel like she will not lost one or two thunder spears. I really don't want you to join the fight. I feel like your talent lies elsewhere. god. Oh.
動け。
何も言えない。
今だ、とどめを刺せ。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Visuals? I'm sorry, but I have to watch it again because I haven't seen visuals this good in a while. Like, with the smoothness. Whoa.
ジナラシは止められない。
内装は射撃を含め一斉攻撃だ。
もう
I have to pause. I know it's right in the middle of the action, but this is just how my brain works. When I see this, I understand, and people keep thinking I don't understand, but I understand their goal. I just don't agree with their means, right? Both goals are good. We want to protect the world, the innocent people in the world that aren't targeting us, that aren't yada yada yada. And on this side, we want to protect our island that has been under attack by, well, titans actually for a long time, but we know that who set those titans wild on the island and with what intention. So the goals are like, you can say, oh, the goals are lovely, but some people believe, and this has been outright said by many people, and that's what I don't agree with. Some people believe that the ends justify the means. I don't agree with that. And once again, I've gone into much more depth in my notes. But for me, the means do not just, wait, the end does not justify the means. So I understand that both sides are fighting to protect something here. But I don't agree with their means, and I do, like right now, they're trying to kill, in my eyes, innocent Azuma Bito, and anyone that doesn't blindly agree to blindly follow them, they will kill. And to me, that is not the right means. And so to their side is like, they are trying to kill innocent people here in my eyes, whereas the other side, the traitors in from their perspective, they're trying to protect the innocent Azumabito in this particular fight. And also what is important for me to note is that if they came with a white flag and was like, sincerely, we give up, we want to talk, we want to sort this out with as little violence as possible, this side will be happy to hear that, whereas this side will not tolerate talking, and that brings us back to the episode where Jean and Flock was standing down, wanting to shoot Onyankopon, right? There is no room for talking on their side. And once again, I understand that some people believe, oh, but it's the whole world that wants to kill them. And so they believe like, I understand why you believe there's no room for talking, but I disagree. And that's why I have kind of like reached an impasse with people who support this faction, just because we have a fundamentally different understanding of the means, right? And parts connected. Like philosophical conundrum, the philosophical example of if a tree falls in a forest with no one there to hear it, not a bug, not an animal, not a human, if no one's around to hear the tree falling, does the tree make a sound? The answer is quite simple. Like, you can argue about it, but depending on your definition of the word sound, if a sound is the sound wave traveling through the air itself, then yes, the tree does make a sound even without anyone there to hear it. But if a sound, the definition of a sound is the sound wave being heard by someone, like that traveling into, if that is the sound, I don't know how to explain it very well, but what I'm trying to say here is I've reached an impasse with those standing with them because our very fundamental belief of what is happening in the whole is so different. Many people will fight to the death to say, but it's the whole world, and then there's those that believe it is not the whole world. That cannot be the whole world because, and we can I've given my reasons already for that. It's in my notes, it's in my reviews. So at this point, I just feel like I can only sit back and watch what happens now. So small. Whoa, the visuals are amazing. Oh, I like the symbolism. Oh my god. Is that all the blood? Holy mother and child. There was something that I wanted to say about close, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but close combat fighting versus shooting of guns, like pew, 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 people, you know, dying over the air because pew, 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 pew. And then versus how vicious it looks when all you have is like these motherfucking swords, and that's how you learn to fight, and you have to like go in close and chop off their heads and shit. Like, that is crazy. And whenever I watch shows, it was so much easier to watch monsters being killed, right? Back in season 1, season 2, season 3, it was so much easier to watch these monstrosities being killed, even though they had relatively human shapes. That was just more exciting to me when, you know, they were mindless monsters, right? And yes, we see a later season where Eren kind of doesn't kill one because he finally understands, like, okay, this was a person. But, you know, it compared to this, seeing, it's like thinking about in the real world that thousands of people all over the world for the last hundreds of years, there's always people fighting in small wars, big wars, but there's always people fighting each other, and it's whether you see it on the news, whether you see it here, it's horrible to see. Even when you can understand, like, okay, I'm with this side, I'm with that side. It's not fun to see them. Like, the reason why I don't believe in the death penalty, for example, even if it's like someone did something horrible, I don't believe in the death penalty because there's a person that has to do the killing, and I feel like that will somehow, on a personal level, that's just my personal belief, that it will, even if you're killing a horrible person that has killed 100 people, when you have to kill them, like, I think that hurts your soul on like a spiritual level. So I don't like seeing Connie go through this. I don't like seeing Mikasa go through this. And I honestly don't see how Connie can come out of this. Like, Mikasa is good at almost detaching herself from emotions, whereas I think Connie, I don't know, he will need some major therapy after this. I don't even think that's something. Like, my dad's a train driver, and a lot of people commit suicide on the like, because my dad, if he's driving the train at night, you have to start stopping the train for a long time before it can actually stop. Even if you hit like the emergency brake, it will take a while to stop. So a lot of people, they go onto the, not a lot of people, but there are sometimes people who goes and commit suicide that way. And then my dad couldn't stop the train. I think it's happened to my dad twice, and he's been working since he was 17. He's almost 60. And every time, obviously, he has to go to like mandated therapy and whatever, because it, even if they had nothing to do with it, it will affect you psychologically, I feel, spiritually even. So it's so much more difficult to see them fighting here compared to when we saw them fight the mindless titans, you know? But what I find interesting is the same people who were 100% behind the flush shooting down people like Onyankopon. Like, if Onyankopon wasn't saved, he would have been shot, right? So I don't know the names of the others. There have been probably like 100 people by now. I don't know how many were shot the same way that Onyankopon was going to be shot, for the same reasons, simply for not wanting to bow down to the overlords that they were actually fighting for. And the same people who are like, yes, this is the right thing to do, go flush, are really mad at the Mikasa, Connie, Armin, just because they're now doing what they believe. Like, if you believe that Flush was in the right because he was just doing what he believes to protect who he wants to protect, yada, yada, yada. If you believe that, fine. But then I don't see how you can then be angry at other people fighting for what they believe and for who they want to protect. You know what I'm saying? And what they believe in. And it seems a bit contradictory. But okay. Okay. Phew, the visuals were quite something. Oh no. Ooh. Was it him that... Oh, oh, oh.
あれはマーレ軍から鹵獲した巡洋艦だろう。あれの速力なら仲間を乗せた輸送船などすぐさま追いつかれ撃沈される。ここに残してはおけない。ならば手を貸そう。
Wow, these two characters together, they've had, in such short time that we've spent with them, they've had pretty amazing story arcs. So to see them together is like, wow.
俺は弾薬庫に火をつけるまでだ。海に飛び込むなら今だぞ。
You're gonna...
いや、いい。
Oh
死に
no.
る気を探していたと。
Oh no.
なぜ我々の味方をした。滅ぶのはこの島かもしれん。志願シナの砦からあんたが増援を食い止めなければ我々はここまでだった。あんたは後に世界を救った英雄の一人となるだろう。じゃああんたと一緒だな。自分を誇ることなどできない。自分の両親に気づいておきながら子供たちを国の都合のいいように指導し壁を破壊するよう。
I'd order them to breach those walls. There we go. Here it is. Here it is. I like that we're getting these kinds of confessions from this side, because I believe that, well, let's talk about it later, but I'm marking this quote down. I'll talk about it in my review.
ようやく気づいた。あの子たちがただ普通に生きることができたら俺はどんなに嬉しかったか。あんたにできなくても俺はあんたを誇りに思うよ。開けろ！おい！開けろと言っている！きっとその子たちも同じだ。ありがとう。ところで名前は？キース・シャーです。あんたは？テオ・マガト。
No! So quick!
最初の疑問に戻るけど、あんたにエレンを殺せるの？私がエレンを殺そうとするのをあんたは黙って見てられる？あんたと殺し合いたくない。あんたたちともエレンとも。
I've reached an impasse with those standing with them because our very fundamental belief of what is happening in the whole is so different. I've reached an impasse with those standing with them because our very fundamental belief of what is happening in the whole is so different.